The Town of Cedar Lake Unsafe Building Meeting for June 15th, 2022 is called to order. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Margaret, roll call, please.
Mr. Wilkening?
Yes.
Ms. Sheehan will be late. Mr. Sharp?
Here.
Mr. Gatto?
Here.
Mr. Salatas?
Present.
Mr. Deutmeyer?
Here.
And Margaret in for Ashley Abernathy.
Thank you. Begin with the minutes of approval of the minutes from the meeting of May 18th, 2022. Do we have a motion to approve those minutes? Denny? Motion by Denny. I'll second.
Mr. Wilkening?
Yes.
Mr. Sharp?
Yes. Motion carries 2-0. Thank you. New business, 6911 West 131st Avenue, J&D Sun Rentals. I believe they're deferred till July 20th is what the minutes indicated. Is that correct?
If that's what...
Is anybody here for J&D Rentals? Okay, I think that's what the minutes indicated. Is that right, Ryan? Did you see that?
Yeah, that's my recollection.
Okay.
My apologies.
No, that's fine. That's fine. It's just, we don't need to make another motion, do we?
No.
Ryan? Okay. Thank you. Number 2, 7424 West 140th Place, the Graves property. There was made a motion to demo the property. Is anybody here for the Graves property?
Oh, I'm the neighbor.
Yes.
And I am also the attorney of record,
She's got an attorney.
here to represent Sheila Graves.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, well, you got everything that I've
Yes,
put in there.
absolutely we do.
And you got the
Yes, sir.
demolition, and I got the papers here and all that too, so.
Okay.
Your Honor, excuse me. Well, thank you very much for being in front of the judge. I had actually called previously in the day, and Chris told me that I needed to appear on the Zoom call to request a continuance. I have submitted an ALPA request to request all the public records for the situation, and I have not received those records yet from the clerk. I have received notice that they received my request, and they are gathering those documents for me, but I have not received those documents yet, and so...
Who was the request made to?
Ms. Graves, I apologize, what did you say?
Who was the request made to?
Chris, with the Unsafe Building Department.
Okay, well, yeah. So Jennifer...
So I called on Monday, and they told me that he was out of town and he would call me back today. So then I spoke with him today, and he told me that I needed to appear at this hearing in order to request the continuance in person from you all.
Okay. Now, this is a continuance so we don't tear down a garage that somebody's living out of. Is that correct?
I do not know for positive that she's living out of the garage, but...
It's guaranteed. She's been there every night.
She's got a lot of reports that she is. That's why.
I've got pictures. She's been there every night. She was there last night, all week, ever since last week.
I would object to this line of statements. There's not any testimony given right now. We're asking for a continuance.
Okay. Ryan?
Well, tonight we are set on the order of demolition that was issued, I believe, on May 18th.
Yes.
Per this board's order, Ms. Graves was ordered to demolish the property or to appear here tonight to provide some testimony as to what she's going to do to rectify the situation.
Okay.
So I understand the public records request. Certainly she's entitled to that information. But I guess what the board probably needs to know is what are the intentions of Ms. Graves? Is she going to repair the situation?
She can't live there.
So, Ms. Graves
Oh, you're talking
Ms. Graves is currently in the process of actually attempting to sell the property, and she's been working with a real estate agent, and I don't know at this time the interests of the person who is looking at purchasing the property, if their intention is to try to fix whatever's going on with the garage, if that's a selling point to them for the property, I'm not sure. I haven't had an opportunity to touch base with that realtor since I just got notice of this hearing last week when Ms. Graves notified me of it. So at this time, we just still need to figure out, if this purchaser is serious, if they want to purchase the home, if the garage is a big deal to them, if they want to tear it down themselves, if they want to keep it and try to fix it. This also has on the notice for the order for demolition, there's 2 property tax keys listed. The first tax key listed has actually gone up for tax sale and is currently in a reduction period. And I don't see that in the additional known or substantial property interest holders that individual has been put on notice either, that this hearing is taking place.
Do you represent that individual?
I do not, but I think it's relevant to the case.
Well, the tax key that you're referring to, I believe, was where the home itself used to sit. Is that accurate?
I'm not exactly sure I haven't looked at the layout of the lots. Like I said, I only have the order of demolition. The order for demolition stated that it was supposed to come with an unsafe premises report, but my client didn't even get a copy of that when this notice was delivered, so I don't even have that report. So I'm not exactly sure the details of this situation, other than the order for demolition that I have a copy of.
May I speak a minute, just a second?
Well, let's see what Mike says.
Okay.
I'm just trying to flesh out sort of what the plan is. So you're asking for a month, and what do you anticipate accomplishing by next month's meeting?
Well, by next month's meeting, I want to determine whether or not my client has had what is under the law considered proper notice to have this situation move forward as it is. At this time, I don't believe my client this is the first notice I believe that she's ever received on this situation. And like I said, I don't know, maybe other attempts to notify have occurred, but my client also has a lot of extenuating circumstances that if the hearing were to be continued, she could present that evidence to you guys at the next hearing as to, why she wouldn't have properly received notice because of some extenuating circumstances in her life that have happened, that have been out of her control. I just am here trying to protect my client's due process rights from having a property stripped from her and demolished without having due process.
Well, yeah, let's be clear, right? She's not losing title to the property if the demolition order is issued. The only thing she would lose is the building. I would suggest to the board
That's still a loss of property.
that even if a continuance is granted, that you advise your client that she is not allowed to live in that garage.
I have no evidence other than
I'm
these
not asking
statements
for
from this
evidence.
neighbor. So I will advise my client what's necessary and appropriate to make sure that she's safe and abiding by your guys' rules and regulations.
Yeah, I'm not asking you to concede whether she's living there or not. I'm just purely asking you to pass along to her that she is not allowed to live there.
I can pass that along to her.
May I say something?
Okay. I mean, it's up to Mr. President.
I've called the police multiple times, you guys have it. I just called Mr.
Just speak loud enough so she can...
Officer Moak came by and couldn't get in, she won't answer the door. Chaw came by, she won't answer the door. But I got pictures again of her staying there all night, comes in the morning, comes at night, leaves in the morning about 7:30. If it's hot like this, she stays away till the sun goes down. You can send an officer there tonight, she'll be living in there. They can knock on the door, you can ask all the officers that I've called multiple times, and she will not answer, but she is living in there. She has been since October of last year. I've been going through this. And it's just, she can't live there. It's unsafe. It's against every code and every law from Cedar Lake and the state. She cannot live there. And she's not even supposed to be in the building because it's been reported as unsafe. So, that's facts.
Okay,
I have
thank you.
pictures.
Thank you.
So,
So you understand, what's her name, I'm sorry?
Courtney.
Sweat.
Courtney, you understand this is one of her neighbors? You understood what he
I
said?
do understand that this is her neighbor, and I understand what he said, yes.
Okay, thank you.
The only thing I would note about the tax sale, generically, my understanding was there were 3 key numbers that
Okay.
comprised that parcel at one point in time. I knew one of them had sold off at tax sale.
Mhm.
The title commitment that we returned from Fidelity National Title did not reveal the existence of a tax sale purchaser or anyone else other than the ones that have been listed here as having an interest in the property. Now, I don't know when the tax sale occurred. Maybe that was subsequent to our title commitment coming back. But in terms of, you know, what Ms. Sweat noted, we have no information related to a potential tax sale purchaser that would be required to receive notice. And my understanding is, from what she said, that it's still in the redemption phase, so Ms. Graves has a year to redeem the property from whenever that tax sale occurred, before that person has any real life interest, so to speak, other than what they've put forth at this point in time. So for ownership purposes, it's still owned by Ms. Graves,
Okay.
and I believe, without having looked at everything, just a quick look at the GIS, that parcel is where the home used to stand, which we currently have the lien against it for the demolition costs from 3 or 4 years ago.
3 or 4 years ago, exactly. Okay. Thank you, Ryan. So we could proceed with this, is that, I mean, we're free and clear to go ahead and proceed?
I mean, it's up to the board. She's asked for a continuance. You know, it's certainly within your discretion as to whether or not you're going to affirm the order to demolish the property. I understand that, you know, her concern is with her client's interest in the property. You know, if the board, as I suggested, were interested in giving her that month, I would certainly strongly encourage Ms. Sweat to report to her client that she cannot be living there. I'm certain our lovely citizen that is here every month on this property will continue to call the police in the event that he sees her living there. You know, and as Ms. Sweat indicated, you know, I think we're all generally aware that Ms. Graves had some health conditions previously and maybe has some now, but none of those should enable her to reside in a garage, which is specifically prohibited under the town's ordinances, as you guys sort of well know.
Right.
She did receive notice of the demolition because the inspector put it on her door. I went out 10 minutes later because he sent me a picture that he put it on her door, to take a picture of it on her door to see what it said, and she had already tore it off.
It was gone.
I don't think there's a dispute that she received notice because obviously she knew of tonight's meeting and her attorney.
Yeah, because
Right,
sure.
so she got the paperwork, it was on her door.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
She said she didn't, and
Danny, what do you? Colleen, go ahead.
I don't want to continue.
Okay, you want to go ahead and proceed with
Yep.
the demolition?
Yep.
I will want to note my objection for refusing to continue at this point today on the record, and then I will probably be pursuing this into the trial courts based on this
She has the right to do so.
Okay.
refusal.
And we're safe, we can defend that without any problem, correct, Ron?
Well, I mean, I can
I mean-
never say anything.
No, I know.
Okay, but I mean, it was, this garage was ordered to be demolished when the house came down.
Yeah, I mean, we've kind of
So,
Sort of
I mean,
rehashed
this has
all-
just been going on way too
supposed to be
long.
done.
What happened
4 years ago
Right,
by law.
right.
4 years ago. I guess the only, if you want to,
So I would say, I understand what people are saying, that this house was demolished a couple of years ago, and this garage was probably supposed to be demolished along with it, but because of some oversight error with the situation, it was missed. My concern is the board has already noted, and the town attorney has already noted, that it's well established that Ms. Graves had health issues, and she was placed under an unnecessary guardianship to the point where she was removed from her home and placed in a nursing home. She was never provided notice of any of the proceedings for the house demolition. This notice for the demolition of the garage is the very first notice of any demolition that she's ever been made aware of. So therefore, I understand, you know, this happened 4 years ago, she had the, you know, the house demolished. Ms. Graves has been trying to figure out how that happened, and before she got this notice, she had actually come to our office to try to get help for the fact that her house was torn down and she didn't know who had it ordered, she didn't know how it happened, she didn't know if it was the guardianship that she was under and the guardian neglected to notify her, or the guardian was never aware. I mean, one way or another, Ms. Graves has been wronged in this situation. She's having her property, you know, I understand she's not losing the right to the property, but tearing down someone's house and tearing down someone's garage is the equivalent of losing property. And I would just really plead with you guys and hope that you guys would take this situation a little more Like if you were in their shoes, would you guys want you guys to give you a month? Something that's been going on for 4 years, give you a month you finally have an attorney in place to get these records, get things straightened out. And if the house still has to get demolished in a month, then the timeline is just moved a month. And that means, I think, nothing to you guys, but it can mean the world to Ms. Graves. And so I'm just really pleading with you guys to just give her an extra 30 days.
Well, it does mean something to us, and it certainly means something to her neighbor, who's been here, like Ryan said, every month for this.
month
So
after
it means
month.
a lot to him, too, so.
Yeah, I have family, I have grandkids, I have picnics.
I'm not exactly sure. I understand that maybe it's not the prettiest sight in the world for the neighbor,
No.
but there's a difference between having to deal with someone being on their own property and having to deal with that and tearing down someone's house or tearing down someone's garage.
She cannot.
So I think this neighbor, he's waited a couple of years. He can wait 30 more days.
No.
He's not losing anything, but maybe not seeing something pretty that he doesn't agree with.
No, that's.
I think it goes
And
deeper
so,
than that, but
I
we don't
respect
need to get into
his
that right now.
frustrations, but at the same time, he's not the one having any rights taken away at this point.
To live next to it.
I mean, if I may, just to push back a
Yeah.
little bit on that, I understand Ms. Sweat wasn't involved 3 or 4 years ago,
Right.
but as this commission is well aware, we knew that the VASIA program, which is run out of the Lake Superior Court, were involved in the care of Ms. Graves. All legal notices were not only directed to the addresses that were reflected in the public records, but they were also forwarded on to the Indiana, I believe, the Medicaid office, as well as the VASIA program. We peppered anybody and everybody we could find with notices, including Ms. Graves' brother, who lived in Michigan City and who actually appeared at one of these meetings. So,
She knew.
Ms. Graves, in some capacity, knew or should have known of this. And if she has an issue with her guardians, that is not the town's responsibility. But
Ms. Graves, and I will clarify, Ms. Graves has already had that guardianship terminated. She did have a problem with those guardians. They weren't doing their jobs correctly, as is apparent, because they didn't give her notice of any of these situations. And that just seems like an issue in equity. And the fact that you guys were, you're aware that that guardianship was in place, and I'm telling you right now that she didn't receive notice, and you still think it's okay to just go ahead and tear down this property, that's alarming to me, without giving her an extra month. I mean, like I said, it's already been 4 years. An extra month is not that big of a deal.
Okay.
And, like I said, if you guys are going to make it a big deal and you're going to proceed forward and not give her the opportunity now that she has counsel, that's fine.
We're going to take it to a
We
vote
will
right
just,
now. Okay.
we will take it to the court and the judges can decide.
We're gonna
just
take it to-
one final matter,
Yes,
just for the
Ryan.
board's consideration. Assuming, there's two sort of forces at play here, right? Number one, you vote to move forward with the demolition. In accordance with the statute, she has the ability to appeal it, which generally speaking is going to be about 30 days. When and if she filed an appeal with the trial court, which would occur at the latest a few days before our next meeting, that could theoretically elongate things, right? We'd basically be stuck in our tracks until that issue was determined.
Okay.
Conversely, if you granted the continuance, we could be in the same position next month, or maybe they come back. But I just want to be abundantly clear. You guys have already issued the order of demolition. This is, under the statute, set for an affirmation order. Ms. Graves has been ordered by this board to remove the property or to present some sort of evidence to you guys this evening as to her intentions to repair it. Even if a continuance is granted, I would suggest to you guys that 1 month is strictly 1 month, and it's either down or there's a plan in place before the next meeting. Not the property is being sold, not we have a potential buyer. Those are not the board's prerogatives. Your prerogatives are to ensure that these unsafe structures are either rectified or removed from the town. That's why you're here, that's why you're on this commission, and that's your job.
And she's been living there. Everybody seems to skip the part, she's been
She's living
living
there.
there.
Exactly.
No, I think everybody knows that by now. So, thank you, Ryan. Colleen, you want to make a motion to Or you want to make a motion to approve the demolition, to
I will
go
make,
forward?
I will make a motion to move forward with the demolition.
I'll make a second on that.
We got first by Colleen and second by Danny.
Ms. Sheehan?
Yes.
Mr. Vulkany?
Yes.
Mr. Sharp?
Yes, motion carries 3-0. Thank you. Moving on to number 3, 1 3.
And I guess just to tie that up,
Yes.
I have the order affirming the prior order here. As we've done before, I will get it to Tony for signature for proper posting and service upon everyone. And then once that is done, the process begins.
Okay. Thank you, Ryan.
And I believe, just to clarify, I believe Chris has my email for service, but do I need to provide it here
Can you provide
to
it
one
to
of
me,
you?
please, Courtney?
Yeah, absolutely. It's my first name, Cortney, period, SWEAT, at ilsi.net.
ilsi.net?
Yes.
Okay, I'll email it to you once I have a signed copy.
Okay, perfect. You.
Yep.
Now, she's living there, do I continue to call the police?
Yeah.
Yes, okay. I don't want to, I told them every time I call them, I hate to bother them. They beat on the door, she won't answer the door. Do they have the right to go in or get it boarded up?
I know. I even drove by one day and seen her there, and I called as well.
Yeah, I called too, but she locks the door really well and
Right.
quits, or she won't not answer the door, so. But she is living there. I have multiple pictures again, so.
Right.
Okay.
Do I call the police and
Well, I
tell them
mean,
to?
you know,
You can continue to call the police, and
if that's paper trail, I guess if we end up at a trial, I don't know how it works. I mean,
Because it is unsafe and it's
it
condemned,
continues to be unsafe.
so they should be able to remove her from the garage.
I'm not sure, Ryan.
Ryan, would they be able to remove her from the garage? 'cause it's
The only
unsafe?
time that would happen is once our time frame under this order has passed. If she's still living there, then court proceedings can be initiated to remove her.
So she's got to stay there another month.
Well, she shouldn't be
live-
living
she
there
shouldn't, but-
in general.
Well, she does, every day. You can go over there, I'll go over there
You can
tonight.
go there right now,
8:30,
her
she's
car is there, I guarantee it.
She's there.
Because every day when I come home from work, her car is there.
Yeah, that's another neighbor.
I can guarantee
Okay.
it.
I know.
No,
I live right down the road too, so.
No, we appreciate your concerns.
So I just want to know what I should do.
I would continue to call the police.
Okay, but are they going to be?
I don't think they're going to be able to take her out according to Ryan.
They're not going to be able to make her not live in the garage.
Again, they'd have to be able to make contact with her, which has seemingly been the most difficult thing to
They
occur
can
thus
make
far.
contact during the day when she's there and tell her verbally she can't live there.
I believe somebody
They've done that a couple times.
contacted, and she spit out an address saying she lives somewhere else.
Yeah. She said, I'm just working here, I'm just doing, I'm living somewhere else, I just come here to get it cleaned up. And then I call at night, and they come and they beat on the door, and she will not answer. It's time and time and time again since October, this has been going on. So, with the paperwork that I received, that she received, I've got pictures of that too, I don't know how we can just let her live there.
We're not all for letting her
Unfortunately, we're
live there.
just doing,
So I'm
we
gonna
have
call
to
the
take the
police
legal
during the
steps.
night, they can see the picture, bang on the door again, Smoke was there last time. When she's there during the day, I'm gonna call them during the day, they can give her verbalness that she's not allowed to live there.
Right.
And let's,
And then
don't
after that-
confuse the issues, right? I think we've had this discussion before, but this board does not throw people out of their homes. This
Right.
board doesn't say who can live where, right? This board looks at unsafe buildings, and they've evaluated the garage here under the statutory criteria and has determined that the garage itself is unsafe. Her living in it, albeit an issue, is not an issue that's necessarily within the purview of this board.
Who would that be?
Well, it's going to be something that the town itself would have to handle, which would likely have to come through a court filing to have her removed when and if it comes time to execute this demolition order.
Legal process.
The wheels of justice
Let
must
it play
flow.
out.
Yeah. We're this close, so,
We gotta let it play out.
yeah, we don't want to do something illegal.
Huh?
I know,
4 years
I know,
I've been letting it play
I
out.
know. We don't want to do something illegal and then have the whole thing backfire. So, thank you,
Thank you.
thank you.
Be here next month.
All righty. Number 3, 13336 Lamore Street, Louisville.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Can you? Hi.
So our contractor pulled permits earlier this week to demo the building, the garages.
Okay, can you give us your name and address for
Yeah, my home address or the address we're talking about?
both, please?
My name is Lauren Vogel. I live at 1239 Seafarer in Ventura, California.
Okay. How's the weather out there?
It's a little breezy, but it's nice. It was hot at the beach today. It was nice.
It's hot here, so, okay. Thank you, Lauren.
Okay, so one question is, he pulled the permits and he said it's like at 10 days or so before he's allowed to begin, it needs to be finalized or something, is that right?
It's on my desk, and I wanted to ask you before I sign it, what term of time do you want on that?
Oh, well, he's ready now, so whenever you're ready, he can start.
Yeah, so you guys, what term does the
Do we
board?
want 30 days, 60 days?
Oh, well, if they're ready to demolish now, why don't we just have them back at the next meeting and she said they're ready to do it.
I think what Tony's talking about is giving a specific amount of time for the demo permit. to
Yeah,
lapse.
right, yeah.
We've had the building permit issues in the past.
30 days,
Huh?
30 days, it's just those garages.
30 days, okay.
30, okay. I will get it processed tomorrow, and he can pick it up anytime
That's
after
it, yeah,
tomorrow.
okay.
So, then he can get rolling on it.
Okay. Thanks, Tony.
You bet.
Lauren, did you hear? 30 days?
Yes, I'll let is it gonna say that on the permit when the contractor comes to get it?
Yes, it will.
Okay, great. So he'll know that too. Thank you.
Thank you. You making motions here?
I would suggest you just make a motion to continue this to the next month, and then obviously we'll know if the garages are down. and we can
Okay,
make up
I'll
for it.
make a motion to continue 13336 Lower Street until the next meeting.
Motion by Colleen,
I'll second.
second by Denny. Roll call?
Ms. Sheehan?
Yes.
Mr. Wilkins?
Yes.
Mr. Sharp?
Yes. Motion carries 3-0. Okay. Now we go to a list of possible unsafe. 7120 West 132nd Place, the Hubel property, but I believe we're looking for the current owners. There were some new owners or something, is that?
No, I guess it fell through.
Oh,
He had
so
said
there are
that
new-
via a voicemail that Jamie, the code officer, received. This is Gary Kuhl, I believe, that owns it?
Yeah.
It is.
He had stated that he thought he had it sold, but it fell through, and he was trying to get it cleaned up and sell it. And where it's at now with that process, I don't know. It wasn't cleaned up when I went there, so that's all I can go by.
When did you talk, when did he call you, Tony? How long ago do you recall?
He called Jamie, hang on, actually, I've got that. I can see when Jamie forwarded that.
Okay.
Give me 1 second.
I can tell you we are still receiving calls about the grass of this property.
The what?
The rats.
Grass.
Oh,
Oh, the grass.
Grass, tall grass.
The tall grass.
No, you're very good.
It sounded like you said
Right.
5/19 of 22,
Yeah.
5/19 of 22, she sent me that, she forwarded the voice message to me.
Okay.
So I assume it was the day before.
Yeah.
It's been a month.
So
Oh,
we want to,
yeah.
can somebody appear,
I think, yeah, he needs to appear next meeting.
just tell us? Do we want to make a motion, Brian?
Yeah, I would, just to be clear.
I'll make a motion to have the owner at 7120 West 132nd Place to appear at our next meeting.
Motion by Colleen, second by Denny. Roll call?
Ms. Sheehan?
Yes.
Mr. Wilkins?
Yes.
Mr. Sharp?
Yes, motion carries 3-0. Thank you. 13947 Hobart Street. I think we had a new report. We needed a new report on that, is that correct? Tony?
Hobart
We-
Street?
Yeah. That one, I think we just got one.
Yep, that was one of them, yes.
Okay.
Good
Yes,
afternoon.
go ahead, your name and address, please.
My name is Patrick Weiss.
Okay.
My address is 1510 North State Road 10, DeMont, Indiana.
Now, is your representative, David R. Gargo, out of Vermont, Indiana,
Okay.
Council.
Okay.
Could you go into some of the repairs that
neighbors.
I found out about what was going on, so I went over there, I secured the house, I locked all the doors up, I mowed the grass around it, cleaned it up. We're in the process of putting the property into my name so that I can do something with it, which, it's in bad shape. I'm not saying it don't need tore down, it needs tore down probably, but I'm in the process of getting it put into my name to where I can do something. There was a big ordeal with it, with a neighbor tried to quitclaim deed it into their name. So it's been a year-long process in the courts.
Okay, well,
The property is on supervised estate right now. We're in the process of getting into Patrick's name alone. I know he's padlocked it, he's mowed the grass.
We cut down some of the trees up around it, put no trespassing signs. All the paperwork is in the courts now to get it transferred into my name, and then I'll be able to do something with
It's not in
it.
your name currently, or?
Currently, it's in my father's.
It's in the
It's
supervised.
in the family, but it's in his.
Yes, it's in the estate, the property is
Okay,
estate right now.
okay,
Yes.
okay.
Did you say it's unsupervised or supervised?
Unsupervised,
Are there other beneficiaries that you have to negotiate
No.
with or anything?
none.
So how quickly do you anticipate the title change?
We would anticipate within the next 120 to 180 days, that's our estimation.
How long?
Right now, we're waiting on confirmation from the courts pursuant to some of the deeds we filed. I know the senior attorney, Charles Dargo, has a little bit more information on that. He's supposed to be here today, but I had to fill in. But I know we're waiting on confirmation for the courts on some of our deed issues.
When is the estate open?
The end of 2021, over something.
Yeah.
So I assume claims period has elapsed, you don't have to worry about
Mhm.
any creditors or anything?
Yes, you're correct. And we don't have anyone secretly living in the garage.
No, I promise you, no one's living in it. Maybe a raccoon.
Probably.
You said,
I mean, it's not just that one, there's a couple houses, there's one across the street too.
No, I understand, but we're just talking about this one.
We're just talking about this
Yeah,
subject
okay.
property, yes.
Yeah.
you said if you get it in your name.
No,
you're
it's
gonna
gonna
do
be
something
put in
with
my
it.
name, oh yes.
If you get it in your name, what are you gonna, what's your plan?
What's your intention?
Either we're going to tear it down and sell the property, or I'm just gonna sell it all, I'm gonna clean it up and sell it to somebody else and let them do what they're gonna do with it.
If we could get it to a livable condition that isn't dilapidated and, isn't unsafe, then certainly we'd be willing to
No,
sell
that's
it.
gonna.
I really haven't even been in it since
Right.
I was 18 years old.
We don't
Because-
anticipate that happening, so
Yeah.
once we get into his name, we
Like I said, I went over there, the attorney told me to go over there, secure it, put padlocks on the doors, hasp in the basement, everything, so nobody can get in it, no one can, and I mowed the grass and cleaned it up.
clean it up the trees and such. There's still some work to be done on it.
Okay.
But we're in the process of trying to get it done.
Brian, any?
Tony, what was your concerns with this property?
I mean, it was wide open when I went there.
Door was wide open.
Yeah, helped myself in there. There are no structures around it to where it's in danger of falling onto anything else. It's just in a state of disrepair. It's in pretty bad shape.
Yeah.
The foundation needs a lot of work. What is there of the foundation needs a whole lot of work.
That's not inspiring.
Yeah, it would need an entire foundation and a gut remodel and everything else if someone wanted to.
Well, a year ago, the neighbor sold it.
Yeah, I was made aware of the situation by
Yeah.
the gentleman across the street.
Yeah, that one, and he's getting out of there.
Oh, okay,
That's another one, I just gotta wait till I get everything legally done.
okay.
But I
Is there a
gotta wait till I do stuff legally, that's why, I
Is
didn't
there a
know the
lawsuit about the
property.
title of this property?
No.
No,
Okay. Because you had talked about a neighbor selling it and quitclaim deeding it and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
they,
as I understand, that's
they
been
just,
resolved.
they
this
just
time.
resolved all that, that was the first thing that had to be done.
Yeah.
So now we're in the
So it's
process.
back in the name of the estate?
Now it's in the name of the estate.
Okay.
It's just a process, it's taken me a long time because all this went on.
It's pretty terrible looking piece
Yeah,
of
it's
property.
bad, it's bad. Brian, you have any suggestions?
The only suggestion I would have is if you guys are gonna give them some more time, is if there are issues, which is why I asked Tony, as to it being open to the elements, things that are serious concerns to the neighbors, that those items be addressed and they come back here.
I have pictures of, I put padlocks on the doors, basement door, upstairs door, you can look. I mowed it, I took a bobcat over there, I cleaned stuff up.
We submitted colorized pictures to Ms. Abernathy prior to the board meeting.
Cause it was bad, it was the,
I have
it was
copies
the
of
house.
black and white and a copy of the correspondence that we sent.
May 23rd.
Yeah, May 23rd is when I went over there and
Are the
cleaned it
windows
up.
still all intact?
Put-
Do we have any broken windows or anything?
No broken windows.
Okay.
Probably want to look back, but.
There's something over it. No,
Oh, okay, yes, there's covering over
So there
there.
should be no way anybody can enter that.
There's no way no one can enter that house, I had the keys.
If you,
I screwed the windows shut,
And everything's turned off, electric's turned off.
electric's off, gas is off, everything is off.
our records indicate we sent it June 1st.
That's all right, that's not.
Regardless, if needed, we can always resubmit the pictures and
Yes,
documents.
yeah, please do.
We will.
I've got this here. Wait.
Okay.
Yeah, they're received.
Okay. I see, we do have them.
Yeah, I
They're in your
apparently do,
packet,
so.
at the back of.
Okay.
Yeah, there's no way in or out of property.
Colleen, you want to do one?
Yeah, I padlocked it all up.
What do they say they need to have them for?
Doors were
For the
shut,
title
screwed
holder?
up, screwed the windows shut, put no trespassing signs on the.
Can they check on that, Ryan? Is there any way to check on, I suppose
I mean,
it's
I'm
not,
trying.
For what?
No, I get it.
Not for us, but for them to check on that to see if it's moving along, or?
Yeah, I have them.
Well, I mean,
120 days.
the 120 seems long.
Yeah, that seems
and
long.
unsupervised.
We're-
That's
We're being cautious
I
in that
know, I
regard,
understand, I understand.
and you know, we anticipated being done earlier than that, we just don't want to misrepresent the facts.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're gonna do a continuance, I would,
60 days?
I would suggest shorter than that, like 60 days, and have them come back and we
Okay.
can check in and see how
I
they're
think that's
going.
exactly what Colleen said, so.
Yeah.
Want to make a motion that if
I'll
you
make
get
a
that,
motion
to reappear?
Absolutely, 60 days out.
To read back, 60 days at our next meeting, so that would be August.
August, whenever.
Or August.
Whenever the August meeting, and we'll
Okay.
figure it out.
August town hall?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
absolutely, we'll be there,
August
thank
would
you.
be
Motion by Colleen, second by Denny.
August 17th.
August 17th meeting.
Same time, same place.
Okay.
Same time, okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, no, thank you, guys.
Mr. Wilkening?
Yes.
Mr. Sharp?
Yes. Motion carries 3-0. Okay. 8120 Lake Shore Drive, Shane's Bar and Grill, we have a report on that, says it's in bad shape.
Nothing's changed.
Okay. Any representative from Shane's here? So Chris, what are we doing? Are we? Thanks for the report, Tony, you're welcome.
Well, this is a building you'd like to pursue. I think we should probably bring the property owners in.
Property owners in at next meeting.
Yeah,
Okay.
clearly, now that we have the report, it's, I would say you would consider this unsafe. I would consider what is falling off of the building unsafe.
Unsafe, yeah. Okay, want to have somebody appear and,
So I guess the only question for the board is how quickly do you want to move on this? Do you think an owner is gonna be receptive to making these repairs, or do you think that it's gonna fall on deaf ears and we're gonna have to?
I could maybe answer that.
Yes.
I've had several people, organizations reach out in regards to purchasing this property, so I don't believe the property owner intends on repairing it. Now, that could be contrary, but
That
I've
was
received
my assumption,
several.
which is why just having the property owner come in probably doesn't move the needle a whole lot. So you can order them to appear, but if you think that that is the most likely outcome, then it's probably wise, if the board wants us to get the title work going on that, and we can have,
yeah, let's do
because
that.
we have the unsafe premises report done, right?
Yes.
So
it's
we can have the demo order prepped.
He can appear, be his kids, because I think he's pretty sick. From what I understand from the fire chief.
Okay.
Okay.
So we can have the demo order prepped and ready to go
Let's
for
do
next
that.
month.
So we'll just make
In
a
the event they
motion
don't
to
appear.
get the
Make a
title.
motion, I'll make a motion to get the demo or
And that includes ordering the title work?
ordering the title work.
What was your motion, Colleen?
To get
Get title work.
title work and
Okay.
to prepare the demolition order.
Motion by Colleen, second by Denny.
Ms. Sheehan?
Yes.
Mr. Wilkening?
Yes.
Mr. Sharp?
Yes, motion carries 3-0. Thank you, everybody. 13716 Birch Street. Anyone here for that property? Blanton? And we were getting a report, this is the first report on it, correct, Tony?
Yep.
And I believe this was deemed unsafe for a bunch of reasons.
Yeah, it looks like.
Just another
Oh,
one.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Categorize.
Unsafe building
Oh, my
and unsafe premises.
Oh, my. You want to make a motion for the title work again?
Yeah.
Is that,
Kind of falling out, there's, I think there's a water dryer.
I will make a motion to begin the title work on this property. And
you want to second that? Colleen made a motion.
I second.
Motion by Colleen, second by Denny.
Ms. Sheehan? Yes. Mr. Wilkening?
Yes.
Mr. Sharp?
Yes. Okay. Motion carries 3-0. 9320 West 142nd Avenue, Midland Trust Company, custodian for Pamela Broadway. Anybody here for that?
Yeah, that should be, is it a yellow house? With an awful garage?
What happened?
I can't really tell what.
I can't tell if it's a color at all.
Yeah,
Oh, this one doesn't have a garage. This is,
It actually does have a garage.
yeah, it has the,
Does it?
it has a bunch of poison ivy growing out of it.
oh, no,
Yeah.
this is, that's on,
142nd Avenue?
well, that's on 42nd, I'm sorry, I was looking at
No,
Fairbanks.
it's okay.
My bad. You're right, yep.
Yeah.
You are the neighbor then?
Yes,
Okay, very good.
yes.
Okay.
Could you give, we need your name and address before any communication.
It is, Carrie McCool, and our address is 9301 West 142nd Avenue.
Okay.
9301?
Yes,
Oh, that's your address, not that one.
Well, it's
correct.
not
We're
building.
just the neighbors.
She's a neighbor.
Yeah.
They're
We're tired of looking at it, and it's just awful.
No, I'm
And
sorry,
it's
there wasn't.
deplorable.
Okay.
Okay, so I think we will,
We don't have a report
No, I
on it.
think no report
made.
Not on that one.
Right.
I think we'll get a report on it, and you'll be here
Last week,
next,
week
I'm
before.
pretty sure it'll be here next month. I don't want to promise anything, but Tony's really, really good at doing this stuff, so.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep.
So, and we'll see, whatever he says, and then we'll find out next month, okay?
It qualifies, it's just gonna be a matter of making a report.
Yeah.
Definitely, I don't believe anyone's living there.
No.
Living there, okay.
Several years. The garage was actually the complaint that was made, but I've been driving past that house, I've walked around it a couple times, it's not.
It's unsafe.
Yeah, it is,
Okay.
it's just, it was a matter of,
So we just, once you get the report, then we can move on.
pretty much, yeah, that's.
So next month we'll
Yeah.
move on it, okay?
Okay.
Awesome, thank you so much.
Thanks, Tony. Thank you, folks, for showing up.
Yep.
Do we need to just defer that to next
Yeah.
month?
Yeah.
Make a motion to defer it to next month.
Motion by Colleen, second by Denny to defer.
Ms. Sheehan?
Yes.
Mr. Wilkening?
Yes.
Mr. Sharp?
Yes, motion carries 3-0. Now, we move to the Fairbanks property, 14407 Fairbanks Prairie Oak Holdings LLC. Anybody here for that property? And this is a new report.
Yes.
Attempt to build a foundation.
And it's deemed unsafe by our,
Was there somebody working on it, or they just
It's
abandoned it?
There was no permit.
He has
Neighbor
in
called.
here entirely possible to extremely dangerous condition of the property.
Neighbor called and asked if someone could clean the yard up because it was kind of a mess.
Wow.
There's no permit on it. Someone decided to try to jack the house up and illegally try to put a foundation under it, and to be honest, there's no house worth saving there. I mean, there's plenty of houses in town that need foundations, that needs dumpsters, it's not,
So it is unsafe?
oh,
Yeah,
extremely,
okay.
yeah.
These guys are extremely dangerous.
Yes,
So we need
yeah.
to move on this.
Yeah, let's do. What do we need, Ryan, tile work?
Yep.
Okay, I'll make a motion to order for title work.
Motion by Colleen, second by Denny for title work.
Ms. Sheehan?
Yes.
Mr. Wilkening?
Yes.
Mr. Sharp?
Yes, motion carries 3-0.
And
Okay,
just as an initial matter for all of these that we're ordering title on,
yes,
or the reports, it's probably wise to, at the same time, always issue notices to appear to the people.
Okay.
So they're apprised of what's going on, they can come out here, they can give whatever evidence they need to give,
sure.
before we get, too far down the
Far
line.
down the line, okay. Can you do that tomorrow, please?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great, thank you. Then we have update item, 7512 West 128th Lane.
I have a permit from him.
Okay,
He is going to work on the exterior to at least get it presentable. And then he's got to decide what to do with the rest of it, because there is no indoor plumbing in that place, and there never has been. It's a true cottage.
okay,
But it is in the condition where he can get it presentable and then decide what he's
And
going to do.
he's pulled some permits, and we
Yes.
understand that's what he's gonna do?
It was processed today, so it's ready for him to pick up. I spoke with him on the phone yesterday,
Okay,
after I went around and through the house to see what it needed, and he's agreed to take care of it.
report back, what do you think, Colleen, 60 days?
60 days.
60 days, you think, Tony?
Sure.
Okay, okay,
August 17th.
yes. Number 2, 7020 West 139th Place, INACQ LLC, formerly Crum.
We have both the Realtor and Anthony DeVries on Zoom.
Okay, so we got the realtor and the owner, is that correct? or-
Correct.
Okay. Yes, folks, go ahead.
How are you guys?
Good, how are you?
I don't know if you remember meeting me back in, I think November, when I came to see you guys.
Came in from Las Vegas?
You got it, and that's where I am right now.
Okay. It's probably warmer
And-
here than there, but that's neither here nor there.
You don't want to be here right now, it's 108 degrees.
Oh, we're not quite there.
Yeah, but it's a dry heat.
I was in right.
Of course it is, yeah.
So,
What's going on?
last month, I appreciate you allowing my agent slash representative Stephanie to gain a continuance for this month.
Right.
We've been in a little bit of a conundrum on this piece. As you know, when we first acquired it from the tax sale back April of last year, it's been kind of a fight to get the deed on the property. And when we first received this notice, right, of the demolition, we still didn't even have title to the property. We didn't even have the deed. So our hands were, of course, tied, right? But we were still getting estimates because our plans were to reconstruct the house and make it nice and livable. Since then, we received the deed sometime in March, I believe mid-March, and that was really the time where our hands weren't as tied to be able to really dig a little deeper into what the situation on the property is. And, we did clean it out after that time period, and we did notice that the foundation is indeed in a greater form of disrepair than I initially thought. And I do remember, I think one or two of you saying that you were concerned really about the foundation issue.
Yeah.
And yeah, that is a concern now. The last thing we want to do is erect a property and the foundation isn't structurally sound.
Right.
And we did get some people out there to do some estimates on the foundation. One of them kind of laughed at us, and the other one, Stephanie, I don't remember how much that quote was, but it was somewhere in the realm of, I think, $30,000. So we're in a little bit of a conundrum right now, and, you know, I just want to put everything on the plate. You know, the last thing I want to do is hide anything and try to pull any wool over your eyes. What I do know is that, you know, I'm already 50 grand into this property, and I know that's not the board's problem. I understand that. What I am looking to do is, we're trying to finalize the numbers to see if this is even worth it. But I'm between a rock and a hard place right now, because, you know, doing that foundation and building the house will bring me to a number that will just break me even, you know, after selling the house.
If everything goes well, yeah.
One aspect that I have been exploring, you know, I was approached by somebody in the neighborhood to purchase that property a little while back, and then they backed out, and that was kind of interesting because, you know, they brought a decent number to me. And I know you had asked Stephanie last month if the property was for sale. We do not have it on the market, and we never have had it on the market. Our intention always was to build on it and you know, repair it. But, you know, at this point, I'm looking at options to maybe potentially even partner with the builder, because I had 2 quotes on it. And those are 2 quotes I had were before we even obtained the deed to the property. I even showed you one of them, and they were in the realm of about $100,000.
Right.
And that would be okay. That would be okay if the foundation wasn't an issue. But when I'm looking to see if I could partner with a builder and you know, be the landowner, or I don't know. I'm just looking for options right now. I really don't want to walk for my 50, but I also don't want to spend 20 demolishing it and just having a piece of land. So, you know, with the towns, I'd really like to have 1 more month of a continuance just to really finalize the thought process. I know this has been going on since November, I think, is when we first got our notice. However, just please take into consideration, we haven't even owned the property, you know, for...
No, I think we can give you 30 days, but we need a final resolution on that 30th day.
Yeah.
Now, may I ask you this, again, respecting what the, you know, town's goals and objectives are, would you be opposed to me either partnering with the builder or selling it to a reputable builder who could facilitate? I mean, of course, I'm going to take a loss no matter what, right? But it's just how much am I able to bleed? That's the avenue I'm going on. I'm going on right now.
I don't think I want to sit and wait for.
Well, the builder would have to start right away if you're going to do that. I mean,
We can't leave it just sit there for sale for a month.
I understand. And, I mean, it's boarded up, you know, and
right.
Yeah, we're not going to just have a for sale sign in front and hope for the best offer. I mean, trust me, we've got 30 other properties that we're also dealing with that we have to get started on. So I need to just stop the bleeding in some way and hopefully in the most efficient way possible. I don't want this on my mind for, you know, another 3 months or 2 months. I really don't.
And we don't
Right. So let's get an answer in 30 days.
We're going to, 30 days, did you hear that, sir?
I did.
Okay.
And I do appreciate that, and within the next 30 days, I'm gonna have something, you know, very solid, and hopefully we don't even have to be back here, okay?
Sounds good.
That sounds great. Thank you very much.
All right, thanks for your understanding.
Is that a final continuance?
Is it a final continuance, Ron?
Well, do we have an unsafe premises report on this?
Yes.
That would have been old, yeah, that would have been prior to me. So
We do have one.
I mean, at least in the meantime, Tony, you should probably update it.
Sure. Yeah, just update so we
Just
know
in
where we
case,
are.
not saying they're not going to do it, but depending upon what their final decision is, you know, they might be leaving or in the process of leaving, and there's still a house there that we have to worry about, so.
Right.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Tony.
Okay, thank you. You guys have a good night.
Do I need my motion on that?
You need a motion?
No, it's not an update.
Okay, yeah, it's updated. No place to write it, yes or no. 7220 West 138th Place, Leon Hart.
They've got an active permit on it still, and they're working on it.
They're working on it,
Yep.
okay, very good, thanks, Tony. 6425 West 141st, the water property. Any,
Yes.
You want to come up? We don't have anything on that, Tony?
Yeah.
On Ward?
Yeah.
No, they had security, yeah, they had security with the.
Oh, that's right, that's
the
right.
Foundation.
Okay.
Do you want us to do
I
now?
don't know why I'm back here, because I thought we decided last month that it was all right for a while, until we decided what we were doing.
Oh, that's right, they took the fence.
When the fence first went up,
Right.
yeah, you guys said,
No trespassing.
I don't know what the, term was.
I don't
Term of
remember,
time.
but I know.
You said you were just gonna keep an eye on it, you never really gave me any kind of term.
Right, but we can't do it indefinitely. You
Yeah.
can't give it out
I mean,
for
whatever.
years.
It's not a big deal, I mean, what about the one across the street with the trees growing out of it? Yeah, is anybody
Well,
gonna
again,
get
we're talking
something
about
for
this
that?
piece of property, not that piece of property.
I mean, there's a garage on the corner of Klein and 128th, that the roof is falling in, and what about them?
What are we gonna do with this piece of property?
I'll start filling it in with dirt,
Okay.
so that nobody can fall in the hole, and then if I decide to build, I'll dig the dirt out of the foundation.
Will that make you happy?
I'll have them
No
start
longer
dumping.
unsafe.
I'll have them start dumping
I mean,
dirt
what-
We need to
tomorrow.
get it off the
I don't know how-
unsafe.
I don't know how long it'll take me to fill it in, but I'll have them start dumping dirt tomorrow.
Okay.
I mean,
We need a permit for that, Tony?
Sort of, no.
No, okay.
No, I guess just a term of time, you know.
what's
what's not going on for
Why is it
90 days.
now?
Well, the thing is,
What
it's gonna
is-
be the pool center gonna be dumping dirt, so, I mean, however long it takes them, they
Thought you were gonna
dig the
fence it.
pools and then they dump it.
No, I-
He put like a snow fence around it.
Yeah, it's all snow fence. I mean, you can't get in, it's tight, it's 4 foot high, and it's 4 foot high all the way around the foundation, and it don't ever get lower.
of it's
And the one end is over 4 foot high, I mean, you've seen it.
Sure.
And
the end is open,
I
mean, you can't get
stuck in there.
No, that's fine, that's why I said I'll have them start dumping dirt tomorrow. They have a pool job right in Cedar Lake, so they'll start dumping dirt there tomorrow.
Okay,
And
very
then
good.
As they dump dirt, I'll get the machine over there and start scooping it in.
And that'll
Very good.
happy?
Yeah, it's, I mean,
And
as long as.
then that way nobody can fall in
Flat
it.
ground, right, no one
Yeah.
can fall in there, yeah, that's.
I mean, do I need to like ramp up the edges, like?
No.
Where, you know what I'm saying, I just make it flat?
Yep.
Okay, and the inside.
Do you have a long-range plan for this piece of property, or?
Well, I was planning on building, but with the way things are going and the
Okay.
interest rates and that, I really
Okay,
can't
that's why
afford
if
to
you
right
start with
now,
the
I
dirt
mean.
and see what, no, I understand.
I mean, we might end up selling it. We have
Yeah.
a couple people that are interested in buying it. I have 2 people right now. One guy that bought the 5 acres behind us really wants to buy it. And then I have another guy that's interested in buying it too, so, I mean, depending on which way I go.
One more question.
Yes.
How do we get them to stop spending the sewer bill now? I mean, there's not even a
Well,
house
you have to
there.
cancel the sewer and then.
How do I've been trying to do that for 8.5 years now.
But then they gotta come.
How do I do that?
Notify somebody at town hall.
Utility department.
Utility department.
Tell them what, that the
Yeah.
house is gone now, so can they stop sending me a bill?
Yeah.
It'd have to be done through the town council.
Take it up to the road.
Yeah, to dig it up at the road, then,
At the road,
yeah,
yeah.
you just cap it at the house, then, yeah, that's what
Right.
I thought.
Yeah, if you keep
Right.
it active, then.
Then you don't have, yeah, then.
Right.
It's there, yeah.
Right.
And that's what I thought, I mean, that's kind of a good selling point, because then the people
Yeah,
don't have to
yeah,
come in and
yeah.
pay the $5,000 sewer tax.
No, that's right, you're exactly right.
Yeah, it cost me $8 a month.
Yeah. We may be saving you 5,000, so.
All right, thanks.
Thank you, folks.
Thank you.
Okay. Do we have any public comment? Margaret, see, no?
Nobody online, sir?
Yes, sir.
My name is Jerry Wilkening. I live at 10826 West 131st Avenue. I don't know who the gentleman was who was zooming overhead. How long has he owned the property that was being discussed?
Talking about the INAQ or whatever?
Yeah.
No, I just walked in, he
The
was
one from
talking
Vegas?
overhead.
Yeah.
I have no idea where it is or who it was.
They got it in November, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the
But they didn't get
petition,
title
Well,
until.
the petition for the tax deed was
Yeah.
probably
They may have purchased-
December was the hearing.
When they got the title, yeah.
I thought
And
you were gonna get it
then,
tomorrow.
then the deed probably came through
Yeah.
February, give or take.
Okay, was this a property that was on the unsafe building list and then was changed hands and then went back on it again?
No, this was
No.
on the unsafe building list. When it first came to their attention, it was on
Okay.
the list. we were notified that it was in the tax sale process,
Okay.
which is what got them involved.
Okay. So a property that's on the unsafe building list, a property hypothetically that has been for years, when it changes hands, how long does the new owner have to react to that situation that still exists with the property? Is there a rule of thumb? Is there a
First
legal?
of all, it has to get titled, right? Ryan, we have to get titled.
I mean, are you talking like an arm's length transaction, like you have an unsafe property and you sell it to me?
Yes.
I mean, that, the new owner is taking it subject to whatever this board is
Whatever it is,
doing.
yeah.
Basically, they get called in and we decide what we're gonna give them based on what the information they give us.
How long does that usually take, Ryan? Do you?
Okay, now I'm asking about what happens here. What happens here when you have a new owner of a property that has been transcending time as an unsafe property? How long does this board take to react to the new owner?
I mean, generically, when ownership transfers have occurred, and you guys are notified, as soon as we know, they notice up the new owner to come in.
Right, yeah.
If the proceedings are ongoing and we don't know, or it's not caught up in title because it's somewhere in the middle, then they're gonna continue on issuing a demolition order and stuff like that. It really depends upon the condition of the property, how receptive the new person is. If the person comes in and says, you know, I need 30 days to get my plans together, usually those 30 days have been granted. If they come in and say, I need 120 days, they haven't been so willing to grant that amount of time depending upon each property.
So that public information that you're talking about right now, public record, can be shared with an address.
Which public record are you referring to?
If you're given an address, the status of what you just described can be given as a public information, public record.
Like, are you talking like a new buyer's out there, like, hey, I want to buy Jerry's
No,
house?
if I give you an address,
Yeah.
I can be provided where this is at in the unsafe building.
I mean, if it's in the Unsafe Building Commission's purview, it would be on our agenda, most likely.
Yeah.
If there's an address out there that
That
you
you
believe is
want
a building that's
On
unsafe,
here.
Well, there's something that's missing from this that has been on the list for a long time. And it became missing when there was a new owner. And that's what I'm asking about, without being too specific.
Okay, well, I mean, that's what
I don't-
we just need from you is the address.
The address, yeah.
All right,
Yeah. Okay?
we'll get to it.
Okay,
Thank
very
you.
good, thank you. Any other public comment? Public comment? Public comment? Seeing none, this meeting's adjourned, the next meeting is